A month after the breakup, I booked a gynecology appointment only to find my ex-boyfriend was the doctor seeing me. Staring at the handsome male doctor before me, I timidly said, "I think I might be pregnant." His stethoscope clattered to the floor. He closed the door and suddenly kissed me. How could such a coincidence happen? I just wanted to get out of my ex-boyfriend's office as fast as possible. But then I remembered the 100+ yuan consultation fee, and my butt obediently sat back down. This specialist appointment was arranged by a hospital contact of mine. I never expected it to be Liam. He asked me in a formulaic tone, "Where does it hurt?" "Doctor, my period is late. When was your last period?" He wore a mask, his long fingers tapping swiftly on the keyboard. Light streamed down his handsome profile, making him look even more striking. "August 16th, I think." "The 16th, are you sure?" His deep, cool eyes glanced at me, his tone tinged with faint impatience. "I think it was the 14th. Well, I don't really remember. I never kept track of when it came as long as it came. That was fine. I think it might just be irregular periods. Just give me some medicine to regulate it." I waved dismissively. "Probably from all the late nights and overtime lately. Too much stress, my body's worn out, that's why it's late. Back in middle school, my period was late because of academic pressure too." He frowned, looking serious as he stared at me. How could I be so casual about just taking some medicine? There are many factors that can cause a delayed period. It could be pregnancy. At the word pregnancy, Liam himself paused for a moment. I was stunned for a second too. Snapping back to reality, I waved my hand. How could I be pregnant? Besides, I haven't had morning sickness. Everything tastes great. Go get an ultrasound first. Bring me the results as soon as they're ready. Seriously, it's fine. Just prescribe me something. He looked at me, silent, but his expression seemed to say, "Am I the doctor here, or are you?" People behind me started urging me on, and his gaze toward me seemed tinged with faint impatience. After the blood draw, I sat on the bench playing a mobile game to kill time. 20 minutes passed in a single round. I looked up and scanned the area. A tall figure stood facing away from me. Across the room, a petite nurse chattered away at him, both wearing smiles. Liam had flawless skin. In his white uniform with his striking features, he radiated a refreshing charm like a spring breeze. Whenever he appeared, he left people in awe, feeling both dazzled and hopelessly inadequate. Liam hadn't changed much before or after we started dating. He was always swamped with work. Over our 3 years together, I spent every birthday alone. Valentine's Day was out of the question. He was either performing surgery or rushing to the operating room. He seemed uninterested in everything ... except certain things. During the day, he was cold and distant, pushing people away. At night, he was fiery and passionate. Like a completely different person. I was the one who ended it. His reaction was more intense than I'd anticipated. At least he asked why. That spared me utter defeat. Driven by spite, I cited the time difference. 5 hours for others, just 5 minutes for you. He said nothing, just stared at me with a stone-cold face for a long while. His stare made my skin crawl. Being fixed on like that, as if he could bore a hole through me, felt unbearably uncomfortable. But he said nothing and just left. That night, lying in bed staring at the ceiling, I couldn't sleep. My mind was filled only with all the good things about him. When I had my period, he never let me touch cold water. He washed all my stained clothes. When visiting my parents, he'd prepare everything beforehand to spare me embarrassment, praising my virtues to his own family. On sleepless nights, he'd massage my eyes and temples ... A faint pang of regret washed over me. Suddenly, I realized Liam was actually pretty great except for being a bit busy with work. A month after breaking up, Liam hadn't even called once. Could he really have moved on? My fingers tapped his social media feed out of habit, only to discover he blocked me. Had he found someone new and didn't want me to know? The thought of another woman sleeping beside him right now made my heart ache unbearably. When the nurse handed me the report, she said, "Your progesterone levels are so high, you're definitely pregnant." My hands trembled uncontrollably when I saw the results. If my parents found out I was pregnant out of wedlock, they'd break my legs. I handed the report to Liam and said gloomily, "I think I'm pregnant." He gave a nonchalant, but the stethoscope slipped from his hand the next second. He didn't seem calm anymore. He stood up, closed the door, and stared at me with those deep, abyssal eyes. His intense gaze made me uneasy. I wondered if he'd been through something traumatic or if he didn't want. I opened my mouth, feigning calmness. "If you don't want it, I can get in ... double quotes the next second." A barrage of kisses rained down on me. After it ended, his perpetually stoic expression now held a rare hint of amusement. He gazed at my swollen lips and smiled. "Stay here for now. I'll drive you home after work." My mind was a chaotic mess. Sitting on the sofa, I picked up a book nearby and glanced at it. It was utterly tedious, nothing but medical jargon. The more I read, the more bored I became until I simply drifted off to sleep. When I woke again, I found myself sprawled across a broad, solid back. The faint, lingering scent of shower gel tickled my nose barely there, yet irresistible enough to make me inhale sharply. Liam turned his face toward me, a slight curve of his lips forming. "What are you doing?" Caught red-handed, my toes curled in embarrassment so tightly they could probably build a fairy castle. Still perched on his back, I pretended to sleep on. Liam carried me to the parking garage. His voice echoed loudly in the empty underground space. "Get up." My act failed. I snapped my eyes open. "I'm up." Liam set me down with a small smile. "Did you sleep well?" I glared at him, saying nothing. Liam drove me back to my apartment complex but didn't come up. He dropped me off downstairs and sped off. A tiny pang of disappointment suddenly hit me. I lay on the couch scrolling through videos. Before I knew it, 3 hours had passed. My stomach growled, and I opened the fridge to find only a packet of instant noodles. I felt like crying. Back when Liam had free time, he'd drag me to the supermarket. Every time, the trunk would be stuffed to the brim, while others shopped for groceries. He went stockpiling. He'd explain, "I'm afraid if I work late and don't come home, you'll starve yourself to death alone." Now it seemed he was right. I might actually starve myself. A knock at the door snapped me back to reality. I opened the door to find Liam standing there. He glanced down at me, furrowing his handsome brow. "Why are you eating only instant noodles?" It's all we have left." He sighed, shooting me a look that said he couldn't even bother to complain. Carrying a large bag of groceries, he strode straight into the kitchen, rolled up his sleeves, and got to work. Watching his busy silhouette, I found myself staring blankly. His handsome profile, focused and attentive, felt strangely intimate. Perhaps I'd stared too long because he noticed, turned around, and offered a crooked smile. "Pack everything up. Move in with me." "Huh? I don't feel safe leaving you alone. Move in with me." Was this the rhythm of moving in together? If my parents found out, my second leg probably wouldn't be safe either. Getting pregnant before marriage had already violated my family's greatest taboo. When I graduated from college, my family made it clear dating was allowed. But cohabitation and pregnancy before marriage were absolutely forbidden. In such situations, it was often the girl who ended up hurt. I flatly refused him. "No, I'm perfectly comfortable living alone." "Liam, do you want your child to know that mom and dad started sleeping in separate rooms before he was even born?" He continued, "Can you bear to have your unborn baby eat instant noodles with you every day?" Logic genius. I'm impressed. I was speechless. "Dinner is ready." Liam cooked 4 dishes and a soup, every single one my favorite. Tears welled up and spilled over my lips. I picked up a braised lion's head meatball and dug in. Liam sat across from me, watching silently. Seeing how much I was enjoying it, he curved his lips. "Is it good?" I was too busy eating to give him a proper answer, just nodding half-heartedly. "Want to eat this every day?" I shook my head. "I'd get sick of it if I ate it every day." His expression darkened instantly. After finishing dinner, I went to wash the dishes. When I came out, I went to call him back, only to find him asleep on the sofa. His head was tilted slightly to one side, dark circles under his eyes, his long black lashes fluttering faintly. He looked utterly exhausted. I sat beside him, studying him closely, unable to resist the urge to reach out and touch this man. Before my hand could touch him, another hand grabbed mine firmly. Our eyes met and my whole face flushed crimson. I tried to pull away, but he held on tightly. I stammered an explanation. I just saw a mosquito on your face and was going to swat it for you. He narrowed slender almond eyes, his expression a dangerous blend of amusement and sharpness. It's winter. Where would mosquitoes come from? I offered an awkward laugh to ease the tension, inwardly cursing my own clumsiness. Why did I have to touch someone else's face and get caught red-handed? He inched closer, forcing me back step by step until we were positioned with me below and him above. He propped himself up with both hands, and I turned pale with fright. We froze in silence for what felt like an eternity. I could feel every breath he took. Those inscrutable, seemingly playful eyes met mine with a smile as he leaned closer, inch by inch. Watching him draw nearer, I instinctively closed my eyes, adopting a resigned expression. But after what felt like an age, nothing happened as I'd imagined. Peeking open my eyes, I saw Liam happily staring at the phone beside me. "What are you looking at? You look so happy." Liam chuckled softly. "The group chat sent photos of us in Nepal." I raised an eyebrow. "You went to Nepal after breaking up with me." Liam tucked a strand of hair behind my ear and explained, "It wasn't for vacation. The hospital sent a medical team to Nepal recently, and I was part of it." I picked up the phone and scrolled through the photos. Liam looked genuinely happy in them, standing next to a pretty girl. Zooming in, I could see her arm draped casually over his shoulder. In our old photos together, he always wore a distant expression. Rarely did I see him smile so genuinely. I feigned casual curiosity. "Is this new girl? I never saw her around the hospital before." Liam took the phone, gave a soft, then shifted his gaze awkwardly, looking distracted. "She's a student I just started mentoring." My feelings were a bit complicated. After being with Liam for so long, we'd never gone on a trip together. After a day of running around, all I wanted now was to shower and rest. In the bathroom, I stroked my belly, my mind still blank. It felt surreal there was actually a little one growing inside me. Turning off the water, I wrapped myself in a towel and stepped out. Go take a shower. I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted. Liam stood on the balcony talking on the phone, his brow furrowed. I could faintly hear him scolding someone. Hearing me speak, he turned around and gave a perfunctory, I picked up the hairdryer to blow dry my hair, but he snatched it away instead. "Who were you talking to on the phone just now? Why were you so furious?" He gave a helpless laugh. "Who else could it be? Just the new intern I brought on." Such a headache. I gave a soft, "Oh." I really saw Liam get this emotionally worked up at least. I'd never caused it before. Liam quickly shifted the topic to my move. This guy was truly shameless, actually throwing Gucci and Chanel bags at me. I could only grit my teeth and reluctantly agree. That night in bed, someone was tugging at my clothes, then running their hands all over me. Liam promptly informed both sets of parents about my pregnancy. My mom was thrilled she'd found such a quality son-in-law. My dad, however, sat stone-faced, saying nothing. My legs were saved. The day before the wedding, I had my brother take the rolling pin out and burn it. That evening, my mom planned to whip up her signature dish, handmade noodles. But she discovered the rolling pin was gone, no noodles tonight. Before we even reached Liam's house, his mom arrived at dawn with a fanfare, carrying 2 old hens and 6 lobsters to nourish me. I started to say, "Auntie, please keep these for your own health." She waved her hand and tossed over a property deed and a set of car keys, a Rolls Royce no less. I was stunned. I knew Liam's family was wealthy, but I had no idea they were this rich. The words on my tip of my tongue instantly changed to, "Mom, even if you stewed every chicken in the entire farm, I'd eat every last drop of the broth." Liam's mother's eyes welled up as she said, "Yulia, my son is finally getting married." My heart has been in my throat all these years. Every girlfriend he had before broke up with him because he was too busy. Only you didn't mind ... She patted my shoulder. Yulia, once you give birth to this child, I'll gift you 2 Riverview villas. I like having you as my daughter-in-law. My jaw nearly hit the floor. It was clear she adored children. The wedding was set for year-end just a few months away. Both sets of parents were urging us to register our marriage quickly. My mind was still foggy. I hadn't expected to marry so soon, especially with a little one growing inside me. It all felt utterly magical. Early that morning, I was still half asleep when Liam woke up, already dressed in a suit. His sharp appearance woke me up. Rubbing my eyes, I asked, "Why get up so early?" He suddenly chuckled softly, wrapped his arms around my waist, and gently lifted me onto the dry, clean countertop. Leaning down, he braced himself on the counter with both hands, his dark eyes meeting mine at eye level. "Did you forget? Today is the day we register our marriage." I patted my head. Oh my gosh, I really did forget. They say pregnancy makes you forgetful for 3 years, and I was already starting to lose my mind. I changed into the white dress Liam had prepared for me. He took my hand. "Let's go, wife." I thought we'd arrived early enough, but someone beat us to it. The city hall was packed. Looks like we'd have to wait an hour or 2 for our turn. Liam seemed even more nervous than I was, making several trips to the bathroom within the hour. I nudged him gently, teasing, "Liam, is something wrong with your kidneys? Why so many trips?" He curved his lips, a hint of mischief in his eyes. "Don't you already know how my kidneys are?" The couple next to us overheard, and a soft chuckle escaped them. My face flushed instantly. How had I never noticed this guy's shamelessness before? Just as our turn approached, a frantic ringtone cut through the air. He answered, his expression instantly turning serious. "Got it. I'll be right there." I was already used to this kind of thing. I waved him off. "City Hall's always open. We can come back another time." After Liam left, I sat alone on the cold bench, watching the girls around me, all in love and accompanied by boyfriends. I felt genuinely lonely. The next second, a text popped up. "Yulia, the car at the 4S store is ready. You can go pick it up." It was a message from Liam's mom. My earlier gloom vanished instantly. I rushed to pick up the new car. Seeing that gleaming Rolls-Royce, my legs went weak with shock. The whole drive home, my legs trembled nonstop. The more nervous I got, the more likely I was to make mistakes. I accidentally rear-ended another car. I sat frozen in the car, too scared to get out. I called Liam, my voice shaking. "Liam, I've been in a little accident." His voice came back urgently. "Are you okay?" I looked down at myself and my heart sank. My white pants were covered in blood. Panic seized me as I stammered. "Liam, I think I'm having a miscarriage ... double quotes. The next second, I passed out from sheer panic. When I woke up again, I found myself lying in a hospital bed. A handsome man stood beside me, but it wasn't Liam. Seeing my panic, he hurriedly introduced himself. "My name is Steve." I instinctively touched my stomach and asked weakly, "Is my baby still there?" His mouth twitched. "Baby?" His mouth twitched. "Baby." His mouth twitched my stomach and asked weakly. His mouth twitched. "Baby." "You weren't even pregnant," he continued chattering on. "You scared me to death. When I opened your window, I thought you passed out from blood loss. Turns out it was just your period." My head buzzed. Hands pressed against my stomach, I realized this whole thing was a huge misunderstanding. He tugged at the bag in his hand. "I didn't know what brand of pads you girls use when you get your period, so I just bought a bunch of different kinds." As he said this, the tips of his ears turned red. I gave an awkward laugh. "Thanks." "Sorry about that. I hit the back of your car." Steve chuckled. "No big deal. The car is already at the shop. How much?" "I'll transfer it to you." Steve waved it off. No need. It's just a little money." I insisted on transferring it anyway. When he mentioned a 5-digit figure, I nearly froze in shock, almost blurting out, "Can I just lend you my car bumper to patch it up?" We finally settled on an installment plan. I added his contact info, and he left first since he had work to attend to. When Liam walked in, he looked exhausted. His fair skin had a faint flush. He must have run here, and his forehead was covered in beads of sweat. My eyes stung, and I clenched my jaw, unsure how to break the news to him. Seeing my unease, Liam suddenly laughed. He paced over to me and pulled me into his arms. The more I tried to pull away, the tighter he held me. "Fine." I gave up, struggling. Lowering my gaze, I murmured hoarsely, "Liam, I'm not pregnant." "Yeah, I know." His chin brushed against my forehead, carrying a faint scent of antiseptic that felt oddly comforting. This period hit me like a storm. My face went pale, cold sweat beaded on my forehead, and I just stained the fresh pajamas I'd changed into. What a headache. Liam brewed me hot tea and fetched a fresh set of pajamas from the wardrobe. They hung slightly large on me. Alarm bells rang in my head. Clutching the lace nightgown, I tracked Liam down, ready to give him a piece of my mind. Why on earth are there women's pajamas in this house? But the words that came out were, "Who gave you permission to wash my underwear?" My embarrassment was through the roof. Even though Liam and I had been together for 3 years, I'd never let him wash my undergarments. Liam frowned and preempted my words. "Why did you come down barefoot? It's cold outside. You'll catch a chill." "Get back into bed right now." "Liam, put the clothes down." "I'll wash them myself later." "What are you embarrassed about?" "There's not a single part of you I haven't seen." Before I could respond, he scooped me up without another word, lifted the covers, and gently laid me back down. Oh no, my stomach started aching again. I put on a pained expression. It felt like someone had hammered my abdomen repeatedly. His warm palms gently pressed against my belly. The pressure from his fingertips was just right, and the dull ache vanished instantly. As I drifted off, I faintly heard Liam take a call and leave. The next morning, kitchen noises woke me. I got out of bed and headed toward the kitchen. Liam's mom was bustling about inside. Spotting me, she turned with a warm smile, holding up a large radish. "Yulia, come in quick. Look what I made for you. Look at this." A few days ago, Liam's dad and I went hiking in the mountains and unexpectedly dug up this huge ginseng root. My lips twitched, so that was ginseng. She brought me a bowl of chicken soup. "Try this. Is it too bland?" A wild boar can't digest fine bran. One sip, and my nose started bleeding profusely. Just then, Liam pushed open the door and witnessed the scene. I looked utterly flustered. He stirred over to me, soaked a towel in cold water, and pressed it against my nose. He frowned. "What happened?" Liam's mom explained. "This is the ginseng your dad and I just dug up from the mountains. We brought it over to help Yulia regain her strength." Liam sighed. "Mom, no need for tonics. Yulia isn't pregnant." Liam's mom's expression froze instantly, her face betraying unmistakable disappointment. The atmosphere turned unbearably awkward. I avoided her gaze, unable to meet her eyes. I just wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. Liam continued, "Yulia is still young. Getting married now is far too soon. Let's discuss it later." Liam's mother's expression turned grim. I was completely bewildered. Liam had never mentioned postponing the wedding to me. When did he decide this? How come I knew nothing about it? It hurt deeply that Liam made this decision without consulting me. When he explained later, he said, "I got caught up and forgot to tell you. Didn't you say before that you didn't want to get married so soon?" That evening, my coworkers gathered for drinks. I drowned my sorrows in alcohol. Lately, bizarre events kept piling up one after another. Truthfully, I hadn't felt strongly about having children before, but learning I wasn't pregnant left a hollow emptiness inside me. After drinking too much, I stumbled to the bathroom. On my way back, I wandered into the wrong room in a daze. Inside were so many handsome young men, all kinds of them. Just as I was having fun with one of them, the door burst open. A squad of cops stormed in. I'd never seen anything like it. The alcohol vanished from my system instantly. Arrested for prostitution for the first time in my life, I clung to the officer's leg, sobbing with snot running down my face. I was drunk and accidentally walked into the wrong room. The young, handsome cop gave me a stern look and said, "That's what everyone says when they get caught. I'm really innocent. We'll sort this out at the police station." I glared at the man before me with a pout, then noticed how familiar his eyes and brows looked. A sense of déjà vu washed over me. "Did you get your butt fixed?" I blurted out. The anti-prostitution raid fell instantly silent, every pair of eyes turning toward us. By the time I realized what I'd said, the impassive face across from me had turned bright red. I stammered, No, we meant the car's bumper." Inside the police station, Steve had cleared me of wrongdoing. Now I needed someone to bail me out. I glanced at my phone, not a single call from Liam. After much hesitation, I dialed his number. A sweet female voice answered. My heart skipped a beat. "Who is this? Where's Liam?" I asked warily. "Dr. Liam is on top of me." My mind went blank. What are you doing?" I stammered. "Beep, beep." The line went dead. When I tried again, the phone was turned off. What made it even more awkward was Steve standing right in front of me, holding a bowl of instant noodles. His calm eyes looked at me, filled with pity. I forced a smile. "Did you hear that?" He raised an eyebrow. "Your boyfriend must be pretty busy right now." I fell silent. I didn't want to dwell on what that meant, but my mind couldn't help but imagine Liam with another woman right now. Could it be that he didn't want to marry me because he'd fallen for someone else after our breakup? But since I was pregnant, he felt forced to stay with me. The thought made my chest ache. A cool voice above me interrupted my thoughts. "It's so late and no one's come to rescue you. Since I'm finishing my shift, I'll pull you out." To thank him, I immediately offered to treat him to dinner. He smiled slightly and nodded. "Sure, let's do it now." Steve took me to a Chinese restaurant. When the dishes arrived, they were steaming with red oil, the water-boiled pork slices covered in a thick layer of chili peppers. He raised an eyebrow at me. "Can you handle spicy food?" My stomach clenched. Was it too late to say no now? By the end of the meal, my lips were red and swollen, and suddenly my lower body felt like it was flooding. Oh no, I'd forgotten I was on my period. Spicy food accelerates blood flow. As we prepared to leave, I looked at Steve awkwardly, flushing bright red. I might not be able to stand up." He seemed to grasp the situation instantly, slipping off his trench coat and handing it to me. It covered my rear perfectly. "I might get your clothes dirty?" Steve shrugged it off. "No problem." He drove me to the entrance of my apartment complex. As soon as I stepped out, I spotted a familiar figure standing beside the flower bed. His hair was disheveled, dark circles ringing his eyes. His expression darkened completely when he saw Steve beside me. His tone was icy. "Why are you back so late?" I completely ignored Liam's presence, bent down and smiled at Steve. "Thanks for everything." "I'll return your coat another time." He gave a soft before driving off. When I turned around, Liam's face had darkened to the point of being pitch black. Upstairs, I stiffly explained the night's events to him. He frowned. "Something this big and you didn't call me?" Mentioning this filled me with frustration. I did call. A woman answered. She said you were on top of her, Liam. Explain what that means. Liam looked utterly bewildered, explaining with a mix of amusement and exasperation. The light bulb in the duty room burned out. I was up on a ladder fixing it and couldn't answer the phone, so I asked a colleague to take it for me. Nothing happened. "Was it the intern you brought on?" Liam nodded. "Nothing happened between us. She already has a boyfriend." After saying that, he pulled out his phone to show me photos of the intern and her boyfriend. Turns out he's also a doctor at this hospital. Me? Then why didn't you answer when I kept calling you? My phone died. After it charged, I called you over a dozen times, but no one picked up. Don't you owe me an explanation? Liam raised an eyebrow at me. I blocked you. In the heat of the moment, I blocked him outright. Ooh, what a headache. Why was everything going wrong lately? After a long moment of thought, I looked up at him seriously. Liam, we should take a break. We only got back together because of the pregnancy. Now that the tests show there's no baby, I don't think there's any point in continuing. Liam grabbed my hand, his brow furrowed. But I already explained everything clearly. I pulled my hand away. Liam, really? Let's just take some time apart. Too much has happened lately, My head spinning. He fell silent. He helped me with my luggage and drove me back to the complex. As he closed the car door, he hesitated, words on the tip of his tongue. 3 months later. Heartbroken in love, triumphant at work. That saying probably wasn't meant for me. Back then, I threw myself into my career, vowing to make a name for myself at the company and have the boss bow to my every command. Reality slapped me in the face. My hair was practically falling out from the stress. The project wasn't moving forward at all. Every day, I got criticized by my boss, scolded like a schoolchild. Turns out, novels are all lies. My bestie said I brought this on myself, that I deserved it for abandoning a catch like Liam to chase career success. Is sitting on a cold subway seat really comparable to the plush back of a Rolls-Royce? Work was hectic but fulfilling. I no longer revolved my entire life around Liam like before. After work, I rode a shared bike home. Under a streetlight, I spotted a familiar figure. A girl stood beside Liam, chattering away at him. He pulled out money, bought a roasted sweet potato, and handed it to her. The scene was heartwarming. My mind drifted for a moment, recalling my university days. It was freezing outside, and I lay in my pajamas in the dorm, reluctant to get up. I was on the phone with Liam, half asleep. My roommate bought a roasted sweet potato, filling the dorm with its sweet aroma. I couldn't help muttering, "That sweet potato smells so good." He chuckled on the other end. What's so great about roasted sweet potatoes? I ignored him. 15 minutes later, he texted me. Northern winters are bitterly cold, and his fair face looked even paler from the chill. He frowned. Why'd you come down in just slippers? Put on another pair of socks. He pulled out the roasted chestnuts and sweet potatoes from his arms, still steaming hot. He shoved them into my arms, not even waiting for a thank you before urging me to hurry back upstairs. Don't catch a cold. By the time I snapped back to reality, his figure had vanished from across the street. That night, I thought I'd lie awake, but the moment I hit the pillow, I was out within 5 minutes. I dreamt Liam married another woman and treated his wife exceptionally well. My heart ached suddenly, unable to tell if it was dream or reality. When I woke, my pillow was damp with tears. It seemed Liam and I were truly over. The next day at work, the office buzzed with chatter. Lucy, my neighbor, pulled me aside. Yulia, did you hear? Jaden jumped. My face drained instantly. Jaden was the project lead, diligent, responsible, the ultimate workaholic. My mouth fell open. What happened? Lucy pulled out her phone. It's all over the news. He collapsed and died while working overtime last night. He was only in his 30s with elderly parents and young children. His son is just 3.5. I couldn't process the reality. My mind wandered throughout the day at work. At lunchtime, chaos erupted in the office. A woman arrived with her entire family, Jaden's wife. It was the first time I'd witnessed such a disturbance at the company. My mind went blank. When they brandished knives in front of me, I turned pale with fear. My legs felt like lead, frozen in terror. A police officer shoved me aside, shielding me from the blade. The police arrived and quickly brought the situation under control. I never expected the one who had just shielded me from the knife to be Steve. The blade didn't hit him, but he sustained a superficial wound, bleeding slightly. Just as I bent down to bandage him, a pair of long, slender fingers snatched the bandage from my grasp. I turned to see that familiar face, momentarily dazed. I clenched my jaw, fighting back tears. Why are you here? He pressed his lips together. I saw the push notification something happened at your company. I rushed over immediately. His dark eyes scanned me from head to toe. You're not hurt, are you? I shook my head. The police arrived early. The family members were taken away, and fine. Only then did Liam lift his gaze to Steve across from us, nodding toward him. "Thanks for coming." Steve chuckled softly. "No problem. Take care of your girlfriend." She was staring at her phone for ages just now. Looked like she was waiting for your call. The moment he finished, my face flushed bright red. Steve was right. I'd been so shaken earlier, my heart racing, desperate to call Liam. But the thought that he might be dating someone, reason snapped me back. Why didn't you answer any of my calls? I pulled out my phone and saw Liam had left dozens of missed calls. I froze, my emotions tangled. He ruffled my hair. "You have no idea how worried I was when you didn't pick up. I feared something terrible had happened. Only now do I realize how anxious you must have felt when I missed your calls during busy work periods." "Yulia, will you give me a chance to make it up to you?" My mind went blank. Hesitantly, I asked, "You're not dating someone else?" He took my hand, a mix of amusement and exasperation in his expression. "You're the only girlfriend I've ever had. Who else could there be?" My eyes stung as I hugged Liam. We decided to hold the wedding at the end of the year. The night before the wedding, my mind was still a fog. Liam lowered his head and rubbed my cheek. "What are you thinking about?" "You look so lost." I murmured, "Tomorrow we're getting married. It feels so unreal." Liam sighed. "Stop daydreaming. We've got the honeymoon suite to worry about tomorrow." I was speechless. I lay down, emptying my mind. Long, steady breaths came from beside me. He must have fallen asleep. Liam didn't seem to suffer from pre-wedding jitters. He worked overtime like it was nothing, acting as if nothing was happening. Lost in thought, I too drifted toward sleep. Through the haze, I heard him speak beside me. "Honey." "Honey, are you cold?" Suddenly, he pressed against me, his hands roaming over my body, sending waves of heat through me. I snapped. "Just go to sleep. We're getting married tomorrow." With that, I turned my head and fell asleep. But my words didn't hold him back for even 3 minutes. He pressed his advantage, his cool hands undoing my buttons, his hands roaming freely over me. On our wedding day, the usually composed Liam actually cried. He held me close. For the rest of my life, having you is truly wonderful. On the first day of my period, my back ached and my stomach hurt. Stupidly, I drank a cold Coke. Karma struck my stomach cramped so badly I was rolling around in bed. Liam massaged my belly while scolding me for eating recklessly. Suddenly he stopped, his deep eyes fixed on me. I'd seen that look many times before it meant trouble. "I have a way to cure your stomachache." My eyes lit up. "What is it?" "Have a baby." I rolled my eyes and politely pushed him off my stomach. Actually, my stomach doesn't hurt so much anymore. But there's plenty of time. Someday we'll have our baby. 1,